All right, guys. So now we have another card of the week. This is the one I missed last week. Sorry again. If you see my other video, I had like a throat thing, couldn't really talk. And I did record both of these on the same day. So, card of the week, Ursula. So first of all, we absolutely love this art. And she is in the Earth L. So we've already have two L's from the set. I think we have a few more, but I'll get into a full like spoiler review later. Now let's talk about this one. The art is just amazing. So when Ursula enters the field, choose a job monk or card name monk of cost 2 or less in your break zone. Play it onto the field. Put one job monk or card name monk other than Ursula into the break zone. Select one of the following two actions. Until the end of the turn, Ursula gains 4,000 power and brave. Choose one forward. Deal it damage equal to Ursula's power. Okay, so first thoughts, first impressions here. Obviously the art is dope. Gonna like seeing these if it does get played. Now, as far as monk targets, right? Without going into too much like back research, we have talked. I have talked about this a little bit with my locals. Like I said, this is a week old, so my real first impressions were more like, that sounds cool, right? So it's like you pay two, you can pitch one of those monks and get it into play, right? So this is a good first turn play. Just to kind of get both a body and a backup on turn. So that is very strong. My only problem is the later this goes, the less likely I'm going to be interested in it. 5,000 for a 4-drop isn't super like good. Okay, so like I was saying, this card is gonna have a few targets, and like I said, as long as the further the game goes, I'm not gonna want to draw this. It doesn't have an S ability like the old Yang Ursula like combo we had, the old Ursula we used to like. So going further down into some of the cards here, look, there's something I forgot that they are printing out a new 2-drop backup monk, and so put monk into the break zone, choose a forward, do 3k damage for each job monk or card name monk you control. Which considering what I was saying about Ursula bringing back 2-drops and stuff like that, we're gonna want to, the deck is gonna be themed, so you're gonna want as many monks as possible, probably to keep this one or to recur this one, right? And I don't think the monk thing crosses any colors exactly. I think Sabin, right? Sabin might be a monk, and maybe Duncan. I don't know. But I don't think it's gonna be enough to like warrant like color splashing for this deck. But being able to reborn these guys to continue to use this effect. So what do you need? You need at least 3 monks on board for each job or card name monk you can know. So it doesn't necessarily have to be forwards, which is good, right? You can have like a full backup line of monks and then just ping for like what 9 to 12, 15k. Like that's pretty good. So this card is very useful. To like it's pretty cheap too, right? It's 1 tap and then go. So as long as you have the other monk backups, you're good. And okay, look, it talks about the other monks you control. I don't think any of these are going to be useful, right? Because like so this Yang is the old school one, the Opus 3 one that we used to play. Because when Yang enters, you may play a card named Ursula from your hand to the field. Okay, so actually this might actually be good too, right? So we'll play him into that one. So we'll pitch a monk and something else to play Yang, play into Ursula, and then play into another backup, right? So that seems like a solid turn play. 2 4-drops. The only thing is like they're not both at 10k this time, or like 9 and 10k. So it would be a 5k, and a backup. So that's still pretty strong. I don't know if this one might see it. They also is the 2-drop Yang, which would be a good choice for the Ursula, right? Because you can bring it out. I believe it's 2-drop 5k. It gets about 2k, so it becomes a 7k. Keeping the deck relatively cheap, so you can make room for bigger stuff later. Like the summons, Earth has some pretty costly summons. And then here's some other cards. Let me see this radio. How does this go? Because they are category 4 forwards. Other than you control, gain 1,000 brave. When radio enters the field, if you control 4 more category forwards, you may search for something that costs 1 and add it to your hand. Okay, so there's some synergy here, right? But if you control 4 more category 4 characters, I guess it all depends on the backups, right? Because you could go 1, 2, drop her for when Ready enters the field, you control 4 or more, right? So including herself, right? 1, 2, 3. So you would have to have at least a 4-drop of category 4 backup to resolve this, to search for a Titan, which would be a great card altogether, right? Or Belaya. See, look, it's talking about. I already mentioned mixing fire too, but okay, I can get that. But yeah, actually, probably playing this one would probably be the best bet to bring the other one. Like again, but then again, you're always doing what we're talking about, right? We're opening it. We could always start Kolka turn one, and then pitch stuff to get this one or whichever one we're missing. I don't know if there's a. I know Matt is a 6-drop monk. I don't know if he searches jobs or things too. We could probably do the Vanille special too, right? So it's Vanille. If we have, I think we have to go second for this, right? So 3 for Vanille, this and this, and then open, and you have to have one backup too, right? So if we open Vanille, Yang, Ursula, we'll have 3 bodies and a backup, and that kind of curves us in, but we have to go second in that deck, right? So that should be fun. That's something to think about, actually, right? Yeah, so the card seems pretty good. Like I said, the only real problem is that later in the game, I don't think I'm going to want it. But definitely first turn, this is definitely a first turn card, like opening hand card that we want to like super like mulligan for or search. But again, if you're playing this whole deck, you kind of want to go for the whole combo, right? Vanille, Yang, Ursula into backup. So that seems good to me. Yeah, and then it seems like that's all it talks about. The summons, these things are all L3 viable. If we're going to talk about looking at this in both terms of other formats, right? The 4 deck is already a little broad. In title, I don't think Ursula will make a... actually, if we just play all Yang Ursula like deck in a 4 title deck, that seems pretty good too, right? Then again, I don't know how many 4 backups we have, but that seems okay. Being able to play this Yang into any Ursula, and then just dropping one of these guys seems also good. Yeah, and then being able to... So title might be good. It's an Earth 4 deck, which seems good because you could play this Rydia and some of the other stuff. In terms of drafting and sealed or even like cube and stuff like that, unless you end up with at least a few other monks, I wouldn't see this card too much as a good choice. If you open up at least this and 2 monks, I say it's a good choice later down the road, but not right away. I wouldn't like open. This isn't a first pick kind of card. You know what I mean? L3 also depends. Let's look at this one. This is Opus 9, so yeah, maybe this one will go well with that one. But being able to... so if we pair this with Ice, I don't think there's any monks in Ice, right? But being able to recur these or blink these effects would seem beneficial as well, right? Because you could break one, make her 4K brave, make her 9 brave, right? Swing, blink, put her back, bring the backup back, and next turn you're pretty much set to do it again. Or you could always so that's a little excessive, but you could do this, right? You could swing, they block, you pitch, make her 9K, take the trade, Renoa, blink it. Oh no, but then it wouldn't be 9K again, right? So no, maybe not that. Or maybe you had another monk, and then you could pitch that one, then do it, blink her, bring it back, and then you'll get one backup back at least. So yeah, there's potential here. I do like it as a card. Like I said, I just feel like later in the game, not so much. Yeah, that's about it. Especially if we're set up right. This isn't a win. This is an early game card in Final Thoughts, and yeah, we'll probably play really well with this old Yang. So yeah, that sounds good, man. So those are my first impressions on this card, guys. I will see you next Friday for the rest of them, and yeah, that's it.